everybody! Today I want to show you how to make these cute little pumpkins on Loom. I made my pumpkins into little ornaments to make them easy to hang around my house. And I wanted to share this idea with you because I know there's probably a lot of people out there who like autumn as much as I do. And I think that most of mine are going to be plain pumpkins, but you can put little faces on them to make them look like a jack-o'-lantern. I can't wait to show you how easy these pumpkins are to make. So let's get started.
Here's what you will need. Orange and green yarn, tacky glue or a glue gun, small sticks or small pieces of cinnamon sticks for the stem, scissors, something to stuff your pumpkin with. You can use tissues, toilet paper, tissue paper, and even paper streamers. Use whatever is handy for you. A loom hook, yarn needle, and a loom. I used a 12-peg loom. Wire cutters, green wire, or green pipe cleaners. And of course, black puffy paint is optional if you want to make a jack-o'-lantern. I start off by using 2 strands of orange yarn, one from each end of the spool. I tie a slip knot at the end and put it on the side peg on my loom. Now I start wrapping the yarn around each peg like this until all the pegs are full. Then I wrap each peg again until all the pegs have 2 loops on them. Once each peg has 2 loops, I use my loom hook to pull the bottom loop up and over the top loop and the peg like this. This is called a knit stitch. We do this until all the pegs have only 1 loop left on them. That is the first row. Then we push all the loops on the peg to the bottom of the loom and wrap the pegs again to do our second row. I make 10 rows, and then I move my loops to the middle of each peg to make it easy to get my yarn needle under each loop. I make sure to give myself extra yarn so I can stitch the loops together. I also need enough yarn so I can hang my pumpkin when I am done. Then I thread my needle. Now I push my threaded yarn needle under each loop until all of the loops are done. Now it is time to take all of our work off of our loom like this. I use my hook to do this part. Once it is off the loom, we want the bumpy side facing out and the smooth side facing in. The bumps will give it a pumpkin look. The next thing I do is weave my bottom string in and out of each of the stitches around the bottom of my pumpkin so I can pull it tight. I simply use my fingers to do this. Watch how I do it. Now I push my strings through the center hole and pull the strings tight. This closes the hole on the bottom.
I even made the leaf on the loom too.
I get my green yarn and tie a slip knot at the end of the yarn. I make sure I leave enough extra on the end to be able to tie the leaf onto the pumpkin. Then I put the loop on the side peg. Now I wrap 3 pegs with the yarn. I wrap the third one twice and pull the bottom loop over the top. I lay the yarn across the top of the next peg and pull it under the bottom loop to make another loop. Then I take the old loop off of the peg and put the new loop on the peg. This is a purl stitch. I make a purl stitch on the next peg also. Now I push my work down on the pegs and wrap each of the 3 pegs again. I pull each of the bottom loops over the top like this, making them knit stitches, and then pushing the work down again. I make my first peg another knit stitch, and then the next 2 pegs get purl stitches. I push my work down and then wrap all 3 pegs one more time and pull the bottom loops over the top. Now it is time to finish our leaf. I pull the right loop off of the peg and put it on the left peg. Then I pull the bottom loop over the top loop like this. Then I take that loop off of the peg and move it over to the next peg and pull the bottom loop over the top again. Then I take my work off and cut my string. Now I take my cut string and put it through the last loop and pull the string tight. Look, we have a pumpkin leaf. Let's attach our leaf to our pumpkin. I hold the leaf where I want it to go on my pumpkin and push the bottom green string through a hole in the side of the pumpkin where the bottom of the leaf will be. I simply lay the top green string over the top of the pumpkin like this, and then gently tie the two green strings on the inside of the pumpkin. I am using tissue paper to stuff my pumpkin. I simply roll small pieces into balls and put them into the pumpkin like this. When the pumpkin is full of paper, I pull the top strings tight. Now I push one of my yarn strings through the hole in the top of the pumpkin like this, and then I tie a knot to keep a tight hole. Be sure to leave the hole big enough for the stem before making the second knot in your string. I use my loom hook and a small piece of pipe cleaner to make the vine on the top. I simply wrap the pipe cleaner around the hook like this. Then I wrap the end around the bottom of the stem piece. I put a small dab of tacky glue on the inside of the hole and place the stem and vine in the glue. Now I tie a knot in my strings to the size I want my loop and cut the extra strings off. Then I shape my pumpkin by lightly squeezing it. Let's make this pumpkin a jack-o'-lantern by making a face with black puffy paint. There! Isn't he just adorable?
I hope that you enjoyed watching me make my pumpkins today, and I hope that it inspires you to give it a try too. I'd love to hear from you if you do give it a try, so leave your comments down below. If you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them, and maybe I'll make one of your ideas.
Don't miss out on our most recent fall craft tutorials. How to make these absolutely adorable acorns out of pine cones and burlap. And how to make these fantastic fall table decorations. The next Loom video that I will do is the snowman. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything.
If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to check out our Facebook page. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! My cute little pumpkins? I have pumpkins. So, I did something. Okay. Alright. Pumpkins! Howdy do. Don't we all like pumpkins?